Boom! If ever you followed a betting tipster, then this video is an interesting one for you, because in this video I'm going to share something special. It's a betting tip that will never lose. I'll uncover how and why betting tipsters exist, how they make their money, why they never lose, and how most of them are actually lying to you when you follow their tips. Before we start though, I want to be 100% clear. I don't condone gambling, support bookmakers, sports books, or betting tipsters, as you're about to see. So in this week's video, I want to make you a promise. I'm going to prove something here, which is going to help you and your friends, particularly when it comes to betting and betting tipsters. If you watch it through to the end, I guarantee you'll learn something. I'm going to back it up with facts and logic, as always, in all of our videos. And later on in this video, I'll also reveal this week's £100 cash giveaway viewer for people viewing this video. So all of this I'm about to share applies to very large betting tipsters as well as the small social media accounts. Now, the only difference being the very large ones, the tipsters themselves, have the ability to point the finger at their employer, which is of course the website, newspaper or platform that is providing them with the ability to provide, daily tips or a tipping column or whatever that may be. Most of you will be familiar with the likes of the Racing Post, Price-wise service that they provide on a daily basis, Odds Checker, Andy Holding, At the Races, Hugh Taylor. Not to point the finger at any of these one individuals in particular, because it's just a broad topic that I wanted to cover. On top of that, you don't have to look far at social media, platforms like Twitter, for hundreds, if not thousands, of very small tipsters who typically will say, let's do a challenge from £10 or £20 up to £1,000, such as this one on the screen here. But why do they do this? How do they make their money? And just how much money are they making? And I'll answer all of those questions in just a second, including the bits that tipsters don't want you to know. Although first, I just want to quickly announce this week's £100 cash giveaway winner is Gavin Baines. We've sent you a message, please respond so you can claim that prize as soon as possible, Gavin. If you didn't win this week, don't worry too much. There'll be another £100 cash giveaway next week on Friday's upload. All you've got to do is leave a comment below and subscribe to the channel, and we'll pick a winner at random. So the betting tipster process works like this. You, the end user, are interested in a particular sport, possibly team selection, horse, whatever it may be. It's all the same regardless of sport. So you're looking around online for some useful information to validate as to why you should choose a certain team or horse. We'll use horse racing in particular in this example on sites like the Racing Post, At the Races, etc. Looking for some extra information as to why you should back that selection. The service provider or social media tipster knows this, so they direct you to a betting tipster. They'll give you lots of different validations as to why you should follow that tipster. It might be a track record with some prices, it might be the fact that they're an expert, or just the fact that they're on Odds Checker or something like that. But basically they're all doing the same. They're focusing on a very simple human bias, that is, they know something that you don't, they know the secrets, they might have the inside information, or they're some kind of expert. Now, this is understandable and it's very logical, because we know in horse racing people do get inside information. Whether they put that on a mainstream website in front of hundreds of thousands of people is another thing. But that is what they are focusing on to validate their reason for being a tipster. So the next step is, once you're on the tipsters page, they will give you a reason as to why you should back this selection and why it's so good, and they will advise you the best price a lot of the time. Now at this point, it's not unusual for them to direct you towards daily tips or a tipping challenge, particularly on social media, where they say, we're going to start from £10 and we're going to work this up to £1,000. Boom! If you want to join us to be a winner. As part of that process, you are enticed to see a particular service at the end or click a link, which is actually a trackable, traceable affiliate link to a bookmaker's service. For anyone that doesn't know what an affiliate link is, it's basically a link online where the bookmaker will see exactly which source you came from and who signed up the customer. So you sign up for the service because you've seen this tip. Possibly they may have got some commission for signing you up in the first place, and you put your money down on the tip that they have given you. Typically for the very large ones, and this is just a product of their own popularity, such as At the Races or Hugh Taylor, something like that, you may find it's incredibly hard to actually get the advised price. It might be available for a second or two. In some cases I've looked and I've thought possibly it wasn't even available in the first place, but that's another issue altogether. So you follow the tip, You click the link, you sign up to the bookmaker's service, they've tracked the whole thing, they know where you've come from, and then you place your money on the selection. The bookmaker will typically try to give you a worse price because it increases their margin, offering a worse proposition for you, the end user. If the tip wins, we'll do high fives, everybody goes boom, everyone's happy, everyone's a winner, and you come back tomorrow for the next daily tip. Or if you're on one of these challenges, you're on for leg 2, we're then going to turn it into some more money on our journey to £1,000 profit, potentially. However, if the tip loses, the bookmaker makes their money and the tipster gets a percentage of their margin for that selection. So typically it's usually around about 30%. The bigger sites, I'm sure they get, bespoke deals far more, but basically the tipster gets paid 30% of your losses for losing. And this is why it's so important that you come back for tomorrow's daily tip or the next leg in your challenge up to £1,000, because eventually you'll lose and they will win some money for doing that. Now you can imagine at this stage it's an extremely profitable business model. If you're betting 300 quid a month, then the tipster's potentially getting 100 quid off of you each month. On top of that, most of the bookmakers' sportsbooks will offer commission on all bets that you place after you've signed up for up to 3 years. So a tipster could sign you up today and they'll still be getting paid 3 years from now for everything that you lose using that bookmaker. And as we know from other videos on this channel, bookmakers will not let people win for very long. Now the rather sad but important points to this is because of the way the process works, these tipsters are actually incentivized to send you to poor prices, because there's more margin in the poor prices, which means they get paid more. On top of that, you'll see a lot of these tipping sites and services will do a lot of accumulators. Accumulators again represent very poor value because that poor value is multiplied across many different selections. And it's also no surprise to see why, the biggest bookmakers with the biggest commission margins afforded to affiliates are actually the most popular and most promoted services, such as Bet365 and AAA. Yeah, that's exactly how they managed to get on almost every single betting website. The other sad truth to this is betting exchanges don't get promoted anywhere near as much because of this, because they take a far smaller margin, they offer better value to the end user, and therefore there's far less incentive for these services to promote them. Now some of you might be confused at this point as to why that is and how betting odds work, so check out the card in the top right of this screen and there's a separate video which explains exactly how betting odds work. So just to highlight what I've said there, let's take a look at a few examples here on Twitter. There are hundreds of accounts doing this, by the way. These are just the first few that pop up. So as you can see, there's a challenge here on this one. They want you to sign up. They're recommending a first bet. Should that win, they'll recommend a second bet amongst lots of self-congratulation before repeating the process. Now the Racing Post, Odds Checker, At The Races are all using this business model too. Just take a look at any of their daily tipping pages. The prices advised are nearly always impossible to get. So how much are these affiliate tipsters actually worth and what are they making? To be quite honest, it's hard to tell because there's so many different complex company structures going on here mixed in with other revenue streams. But the Racing Post doesn't seem to be doing too bad when we look at their company statement. Also, Sky acquired Odds Checker for a hefty amount back in 2007. Now if you've wondered, this is also why on Odds Checker the exchanges are pushed over to the right there and kind of not really talked about much, and that's because they offer a far smaller amount of commission to the end user, such as Odds Checker, providing better value service for you, the end user. It's a sorry state of affairs, to be honest, but what's the best betting tip that I can give you? Don't follow these betting tipsters and certainly don't click their links because they haven't got your best interests at heart. However, here on this YouTube channel, we do try to have your best interests at heart all the time when it comes to betting. So please check out another video. We've got a very popular one here about betting strategy and below there's one about football betting.